If you've ever set a goal like saving money or getting fit or watched it slip away from you, then this video holds the fix you've been searching for. If you stick with me through the end of this video, you'll master a 5-minute system that crushes habit struggles. It's proven by my own journey from being broke to saving 10K. So this is my 10K strategy in struggling to stick to habits. This 10K strategy fixes that in 2025. It's March 2025 right now, and it's been 3 months since I started this channel back in December 2024, right here in France. With 1,500 subscribers supporting me, I'm still cutting my own path forward, but I've discovered a method truly worth your time. I know exactly how the sting of failure feels. If you vow to save something, but store that fast, I've been there too. So what shifted everything for me? A system that has been tested by my own experience and backed by solid evidence turned chaos into real results. I'm going to break it all down for you over the next few minutes. If you stick with me, you'll have a tool you can start using today. In addition to answer to this question, how did I turn $5 into $10K? And how can you build your own way from that? The clock is ticking right now, so let's dive into this together. Let's start with the reality we all face. Habits often feel like an unbreakable trap we cannot escape from. When I arrived in France in 2022, I set a goal to master the language completely. On day one, I wrote down basic phrases because I was convinced I would succeed without a doubt. But by the end of that first week, I stalled out, feeling overwhelmed and stuck with no way forward. The University of London study explains how this happens. If you look at the data, 66% of people abandon habits just within 1 month. That's a majority of us caught in the same circle over and over. I used to blame myself for days if I failed. I thought maybe my willpower wasn't just strong enough. When I arrived here, I planned to save $500 every month, picturing a life where restraint came easy to me. Or I'll set out to take morning walks along the Seine, expecting that steady gains will follow naturally. But when rail fell and my focus wavered, those plans collapsed faster than I could recover from setback. It's not just about effort alone. Our minds are wired to favor instant rewards over progress that takes time to build. But what if there is a way to flip that wiring in your favor? That's exactly where this system begins. So keep listening to find out. The first piece of this system is simple. You should shrink your approach to an overwhelming goal into something that you can master with ease. Let's picture a complex project like the Eiffel Tower, like we call it in France, Tour Eiffel, for a moment. Gustav Eiffel didn't aim to hoist 330 meters of iron into the sky in one-man dance when construction kicked off in 1887. That project took 18,038 pieces, 2.5 million rivets, and 300 workers laboring for over 2 full years to complete. Success only came because they shrank it down. So if they needed to start, they'll survey the land first. If they wanted a base, they'll dig the foundation. If they needed structure, they'll forge one beam. If they wanted stability, they'll rivet one joint. Every task they tackled was deliberate and planned. So if they surveyed the land, that took 2 weeks. If they forged a beam, that took hours. But every step they finished toward progress toward the top. If they tried rushing it instead, disaster will hit. So, in 1888, a hasty crane lift flopped completely, stalling works for weeks on end. Apparently, even Gustav couldn't argue with gravity when he became impatient. If you think it right, your goals stand tall and strong, just like that tower. I've been diving deep into the Atomic Habit by Tim Gray, and he says clearly, and I quote, "You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system every time." His rule is straightforward. If you want to win, if you want to improve, you should aim for 1% better each day, because small, steady actions beat reckless leaps. every time. A UCLA research confirms this with facts. If you make small changes, 80% of people sustain them longer than drastic overhauls. But if you chase big goals, 70% quit within 6 weeks. And this is according to a 2019 study. And why does that happen? It overloads. If you take on too much, it exhausts you completely. Tony Robbins, the performance expert, advises us all, and I quote, "You should chunk it down. If you focus on the next actionable step, you'll keep moving." So picking the right side for you is absolutely critical. If you make it too big, you'll crash hard. On the opposite, if you keep it too small, you'll spin your wheels and get nowhere. So, how do you nail the perfect size? You should test what you can do every day without strain. Take, for instance, maybe saving $3 instead of 5 or 10, or work 5 minutes instead of 30. Then adjust it after a week if it's too easy or you're gasping for air. Here's how it played out in my life. Saving money in France felt like I was scaling a mountain blindfolded with no rope. I'd aimed to save $500 a month, but I'd freeze up because ambition can be a cruel taste when it's out of reach. Then I shrunk it down. If I wanted to save, then I'll start with $5 a day, which means one less coffee. My steps were clear if I was going to make it work. I'll skip the cafe first. If I had the money, I'll stash the cash. If I wanted to keep going, I'll do it again tomorrow. And 3 months later, guess how much I saved? That's evidence this method really works. And also, when I tried learning French, 15 words a day turned into chaos. I'd blanked out faster than tourist lost in Paris traffic. So I shrunk it down. If I wanted to learn, I'd pick 5 words, write them down, say them aloud, and use one in a sentence. Now, the basic words stick with me, and they are the base which I'm building on. Failure sneaky when you misjudge the size. If you aim for $500 a month with no plan, you spend it all on croissant. If you try 15 words without practice, you stay mute and forget fast. If your goal is saving 1,000 or getting fit, for example, you should shrink it the right way. First, you need to pick a size you can handle, like saving $3 a day or working 5 minutes. If that feels too tough for you, you should drop it to $1 or 2 minutes. If it's too light, you are costing, you should bump it into $5 or 10. Then test it for 7 days to see how it fits. After that, you can build these habits. If you decide daily, you choose your actions. If you act without delay, you do it right then. If you review it weekly, you will adjust the size to match. You shouldn't overload yourself. UCLA says 70% fail when they push too hard that way. One rivet at a time raises the Eiffel Tower. If you take one habit at a time, it raises you too. So what's your rivet going to be? The next piece makes it stick. So keep watching me. The second piece to this system is all about stacking. If you want to build your habits, you should put it on a foundation that is already solid. Let's take the Apollo 11 mission as an example. NASA didn't send humans to the moon in 1969 by inventing every step from scratch. It was a complex project. If they needed a rocket, they'll design the Saturn V. If it needed fuel, they'll fill it. If it needed testing, they'll check it. If it was ready, they'd launch it. Millions of tasks span years. Success linked on stacking. If engineers wanted progress, they pair new actions with routines. If they failed it, they stacked on pre-flight checks. If they launched it, that stacked on countdown drills. Every step relied on a cue. If they needed a signal, it was the countdown clock, 18 minus 10, that prompted action. So if you miss a cue, failure strikes. Apollo once roared, sparked a fire, and that cost 3 lives tragically. If you stack it the right way, you reach the moon like they did. A cue is your trigger. If you want consistency, it's something you already do that prompts your habit to fire. I've studied atomic habits closely. James Clear says, and I quote, "You can make it easy by piggybacking on behaviors you already have." If you see research, back this up. If you start your habits, 70% stick with them. compared to just 40% without. SAWO, association caught resistance. Brain is already in gear, it flows naturally. Charles in The Power of Habit adds this. If you tie your habits to a moment, it's half done already. If you miss the cue, 60% falter, says USC. Consistency crumbles without it. So how do you stack it properly? You should spot a routine, like brushing your teeth or brewing coffee. Then attach your action to it, like saving $500 or stretching 5 times. You should test it out. Does it flow smoothly for you? If it doesn't feel right, you should shift the cue to something else. For me, saving money in France was a grind. $5 a day felt random until I stacked it properly. My cue became coffee. Every morning when the French press goes, I save $5 right there and then. My steps locked in. If I pour the coffee, that's step 1. If I grab the cash, that's step 2. And if I stashed it, that's step 3. 3 months later, I had $450 from coffee. Packing made it automatic for me. And of course, learning French was trickier, way trickier. 5 words with breakfast flopped completely because I'll eat and forget every time. I stacked it on coffee instead. If I pour it, then I learn right after. Now I've got enough words and sentences, enough to haggle at a market without blinking. If you don't have a cue, chaos takes over. And 60% feel that way, says the US study. So if your goal is saving $1,000 or getting fit, you should stack it like this. You need to pick a cue. Let's say like drinking water. Drinking water works for you. Then you should attach an action. Either save $3 or do 5 stretches when it hits. You should test it for 7 days. If it flows smooth, keep it. If it's clunky, you try phone time instead. So to build this habit, you should spot your cue so you know your trigger clearly. You should link it fast so you act when it hits you. You should tweak it if it's off so you adjust the pairing to fit. You shouldn't wing it without a plan. 60% crash when they lack structure. Apollo 11 stacked every step to the moon. If you stack it right, you'll reach success too. So what's your countdown going to be? So don't miss step 3. The third piece of this system is tracking. If you want to turn your progress into something solid, you should make it a map you can trust. Let's picture running a marathon. The 2018 Boston Marathon had 26.2 miles. Through rain and wind. Elite runner David Linden. The elite runner that won didn't just wing it to win that day. He tracked every step carefully. If she needed to log daily miles, she wrote them down. If she wanted to note pace, she recorded it. If weather shifted, she adjusted it. If she needed praise, she planned it strategically. Every entry she made, sometimes 5 miles, sometimes 15, served as a marker guiding her way. She hit 2 hours, 39 minutes and 54 seconds that day because she knew her numbers exactly. Mile by mile, she had dialed it in. If you skip tracking altogether, disaster strikes. Runners who guess their pace burn out first, and 40% of first-timers drop out. And this is by 2019 runner survey. If you track it the right way, you'll cross that finish line every time. Recording your progress is your compass. If you want to stay on course, it guides you. And Harvard research shows 61% of trackers outlast those who don't. This is on a 2018 study. Why does that matter? It's visibility. If you see your progress, it keeps you going. If you don't see it, 55% fade away. This is by a 2021 report from the University of Pennsylvania. James Clear says in Atomic Habits, measurement is the heartbeat of improvement. If you don't track it, you lose it. David Allen from Getting Things Done warns us, your mind is a terrible office. If you want to win, you should write it down. So, how do you track your progress? You should pick a tool, like a notebook or an app, and log your action every day, then review it weekly to stay sharp. If it's blurry, it's not clear, you should refine how you track. If it's gone, you should chase it down and fix it. For me, saving money in France was blind at first. $5 a day was just a guess. until I tracked it properly. Started with a simple note. If I set $5, I'd write $5 saved. Then I built my 30-day goal setting and habit tracker workbook, which is free below, with logs and notes to keep it clear. My steps were set. If I wanted to act, I'd save $5. If I needed to write it down, I will note the date and amount. If I wanted to check, I'll total it weekly. Last month, I start $150. That's the proof on paper this works. When I learned French vocab, five words a day drifted away. So I tracked them to log them in. If I picked them, I'll choose 5. If I wrote them, I'll list them. If I logged them, I'll record them. If I reviewed them, I'll check progress. 55% fail, you're running blind without a map. So if your goal is saving $1,000 or getting fees, if you track it like this, you need to pick a tool. Let's say a notebook works for you. You should log it daily. If you save $3, write it. If you work 5 minutes, note it. Then you should review it weekly. If you sum it up and tweak words off, you'll stay on course. So to build these habits, you should record. So if you do it, you write it, you should check regularly. So you tally it weekly. You should adjust as needed and you can fix any gaps. You shouldn't get your way through though, because 55% crash without a map. By the 2018 Boston Marathon runner, she tracked her way to Boston's podium. If you track your steps, you'll reach your win too. So what's your first mile going to be? The final piece pulls it all tight. Don't step off now. So here is where it all comes together. How did I save $10K with this system? There's no magic here, just a system that stuck with me through thick and thin. So picture my life as a project. Back in December 2022, my goal was clear. If I wanted stability, I'd aim for financial security. If I wanted growth, maybe fluency too. But reality hit hard. Bare finances, flying, unraveling like a cheap scarf in the wind. I'd waste cash on quick fixes if I settled down. I'd grab takeout if I was impulsive. I'd buy something, hoping for a win that never came. Then I'd crack the code. If I wanted a change, I'll shrink it, stack it, and track it tight. And of course, step 1 was simple. I shrank my savings goal down. If I aim for $5 a day and not $500 monthly, it felt doable. Step 2, locked it in. I stacked it, so coffee brewing became my cue. If I brewed it, I'll stash the cash right after. And step 3 sealed it. I tracked every move. If I saved $5, I logged it as a milestone marked clear. And of course, it wasn't an instant success. My first one gave me $150, and later, I hit my goal after a full year of sticking to it. Language was a beast for me. The French language seemed impossible to crack, and that was at first. So I shrank it down. If I wanted to learn, I'd do 5 words daily and not 50 words at once. I started tight, and post-coffee became my trigger. If I poured it, I'd study right then. I tracked it close. If I learned a word, I logged it and reviewed weekly. On day 1, I got the basics. Bonjour, merci, bonjour, au revoir, bonsoir, and sentences. And by week 4, I was making full sentences solid. What says if you track? 61% stick with it. Sylvania says if you don't, 65% fail. And I'm a living proof of the first. James Clear nails it in Atomic Habits. He says, and I quote, small wins compound into remarkable results. If you stay consistent, that's the engine. And think from the 4-hour work week. You should focus on the minimum effective dose. If you track it, it grows steady. My dose was clear, $15 and 5 hours a day. $5 and 5 hours a day. If I unlock them daily, they built up strong. If you skip this system, 55% fail. Since Pennsylvania, my early chaos proves that hard lesson. So take a habit like walk 5 minutes. Step 1 is shrinking it. If I want it doable, it's 5 minutes, not an hour. Step 2 is stacking. Post-lunch became my cue. If I eat, I walk right after. Step 3 is tracking. If I do it, I log the date, time, and check it off. Last week, I totaled 35 minutes. Small steps, but real growth you can see. So $75 works too. So this system belongs to you now. So build your habits. If you start small, you shrink it. If you tie it tight, you stack it. If you log it clear, you track it. If you push steady, you add effort. So what's your $5 going to be? Or your 5 minutes? The next move seals your start. So don't miss what's coming. That's the 5-minute system right there. You shrink, stack, and track. You crush habit struggles in 2025 with this 10K strategy. 5 minutes a day is all it takes. You should strengthen your goal to a bite, like $5 or 5 minutes work a day. You should stack it on the routine you've got. You should track it in seconds flat. That's how Desiree won the Boston Marathon in 2018. If she ran small daily runs, she stacked them on mornings. If she tracked mile by mile, she hit 2 hours, 39 minutes, 54 seconds with no guesswork. That's how I turned $5 a day into $10,000. So struggles die when you start tiny. So here is your start right now. You should download my free 30-day tracker below. It takes 5 minutes to grab. So pick your move and log it fast. Step 1 is simple. If you want it, you get it. Step 2 follows. If you pick, you choose $3 or 5 stretches. Step 3 locks it. If you track it today, it's seconds, not hours. So comment your habit struggle below. I'll solve it in the next video for you. And if you want more, my clarity section is open. The link is below. And just 5 spots left open. James Clear says it's perfect. Small wins compound. If you do 5 minutes, it builds everything. Tony Robbins asks this: action now, be streaming later. Every time. You should love these habits. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.